Hello, it's Rahim and welcome back to today's video. If you're new to this channel, smash the subscribe button because I share property investment tips, how to achieve financial freedom and personal development. So in this video, I'm going to share with you why I do not list my properties on Airbnb anymore and why isn't a good option for property investors. You see, the phone rang. Yes, okay. Right, okay. Having a problem? Yeah, what's that problem? Guest, okay. I hear you. So what's the problem now? Property not as listed, okay. They don't like it anymore, okay. I hear you. What? Closed it? Was there any inquiries? Was there any investigation about it? Have you appealed? Really? And they have rejected it? Really? I hear you. I really do feel that pain. I really do. And it is frustrating, especially working so hard to get it up to the level where it is now. Okay. Okay, right. Okay, that's the call I received from a desperate investor. This investor has done his property really nice. He's invested in it so nice. I think it was his third or fourth client that came into the property, and this client happens to be an Airbnb client. Before they even get to the property, they already started complaining, asking for stuff that really is not what the client should have provided, or the host should have provided in this case. So the guest checked in, complaint upon complaint, and then obviously they rang Airbnb, and Airbnb immediately, after they've checked out, Airbnb immediately blocked the account because that property was rated about, I think, 1 or 2, because that property had about maybe less than 2 review from that client. So as a result, Airbnb closed the property down. How horrible, how scary that is, especially if you're a new investor who just starts to invest in your property investment journey. But before I get to talk about that a little bit, let me just talk a little bit about what Airbnb is for those who do not know what Airbnb. Airbnb is a platform that allows property investors, homeowners to list their properties online so that people can be staying in their properties on a nightly basis. It's serviced accommodation, it's called, actually. That's the strategy. But we use Airbnb words because that's what lots of homeowners are using to list their property online. How Airbnb began. Airbnb was founded by Brian Chesky. Brian Chesky is an American entrepreneur, businessman, philanthropist. So he started Airbnb as a result not being able to pay for expensive holidays, and he instead kind of tried it by renting a friend's sofa, and he lay on that sofa, and then obviously the idea comes from there, and he was able to build it to a massive brand that we all know as Airbnb. So people use this Airbnb maybe if they want to go for a weekend, want to visit friends and families. So Airbnb was born at that time. So he then invested heavily in time, money, effort to get Airbnb where it is today. And Airbnb is one of the largest platforms where people can list their properties. So you may be asking what the problem is. So let's talk about the people that uses the Airbnb first. The people that uses Airbnb are people that are going for weekend, people that are looking for a room to rent, so they can visit family and friends. And people like that are the people that are more likely to be interested in renting Airbnb. So who are the people that list properties in Airbnb? The people that list properties in Airbnb are homeowners. Maybe you've got a 3-bedroom, one of the rooms is vacant. You can chuck that on Airbnb and rent it out and make money. Or maybe you want to go on holiday and you don't want to leave your house empty and you want to make money whilst you're away. You can kind of put your property in on Airbnb and rent it and make a bit of return. So that's how Airbnb is kind of started, and that's what their kind of market is. So if you are an investor, the way you use Airbnb is not to rent it per room because you live in the property. You're going to be renting the whole property. In essence, you can get a 3-bedroom house, do it up nicely, and that property becomes predominantly for guests that are coming through Airbnb. And the benefit you get from that as a homeowner, if you're renting your room, obviously you make additional income by renting the room without having a tenant constantly staying in the property. So as a business owner, the way Airbnb tend to work, well, based on my experience and the experience of the investors I work with, they favor the guest more than the host. So if the guests ring them, complain about anything, they don't investigate, they don't do a thorough investigation, they just shut your property down. Immediately, your property gets shut down. So if you're a business owner and that's your source of income and this is a business to you, it's detrimental to you. It is a difficult position to be in because that's your source of income. It is a business you've got to run. And what made it worse also is when you ring Airbnb trying to find out what the issue is, trying to investigate, they are even reluctant to incorporate with you because for whatever reason, they tend to side the guest instead of you, the host. So I've got multiple of people who ringing me complaining about the same thing. And myself personally, we've got lots of issues with Airbnb guests because looking at our statistics, looking at our market, the most people that complain a lot more, the most people that really gets the office to work a lot hard is the guests that we get from Airbnb. And what we realized also, even the guests that we got on Airbnb, they don't kind of pay the market nightly rate as well. We tend to kind of give them a bit of discount, but it still gives us that sort of problem in the office. And the disadvantage of using Airbnb also, one, they cite the guest. Secondly, you don't get bookings there anyways. I don't know what sort of platforms you use, but we don't tend to get lots of bookings from Airbnb because it takes time for someone to kind of book the properties that way because they're used to renting properties from homeowners instead of businesses. Okay, instead of business. And another disadvantage of using Airbnb is if you're using Airbnb, you cannot list your property for more than 90 days in London as well. They've got this restriction there. You can only rent it for 90 days. And again, you don't get all the bookings, you're getting all these problems. Guests complaining all the time, leaving you bad reviews. And as soon as you got that one review, right, which is one review, one score, Airbnb blocks your property straight away and then it stops your business from going on. Hence the reason now, most of the investors I work with, they concentrate in other platforms like Booking.com, Vrbo, TripAdvisor, Comfy Homes, because these platforms tend to work with both parties. They work with you, the host, they work with you, the guest. If something goes wrong, they try to resolve it instead of taking sides. Hence the reason why I think Airbnb is really struggling in the market right now for them to get their market share because businesses are kind of steering away from them because it causes them lots of problems and issues. So here's the thing. I'm not stopping you from listing your property in Airbnb if it works for you. And if you're renting a room in your house, maybe Airbnb might be the best thing for you. If you've got to go on holiday and you want to rent your property temporarily, perhaps Airbnb is for you. But if you're a businessman and a business owner and you're really serious about your business and you really want to have good reviews, good income, maybe you want to look at other platforms like Booking.com because Booking.com platform is where you Europeans kind of get most of their bookings. That's where you go to book properties. I'll ask you a question now. If you were to go out on holiday or suppose you're traveling from London to say Newcastle or London to Liverpool or say Birmingham, do you really use Airbnb or Booking.com? So based on my research and our analysis, most people use Booking.com. So that's the reason why we kind of concentrate a lot more in getting our property really optimized in Booking.com instead of Airbnb. And also we also try to work with the customers, with our guests, and find a way how we can work into a win-win resolution. And with the guests in Booking.com, they understand the process and they understand it's a business and they tend to work with you to resolve whatever issues you have instead of going and complain to Booking.com. So for me, Airbnb really, if you own the house, you're living in that, maybe it's best for you. But if not, if you're using it in a business, Don't get disheartened if you're not getting one guest from Airbnb. And again, if they complain about you, if you know it's not your fault and it's been blocked, perhaps you want to concentrate or you want to put your energy in working with booking.com. I really hope this video has shined a light a little bit about Airbnbs and you know what service recommendation is. And if this video has been helpful, hit the like button below, subscribe to my channel for more amazing videos. I look forward to sharing the next video. Thank you.